I was an academic for many years, from mid-60s to mid-90s, so 30 years I was an academic. And I was doing research largely because we had a research institute at the University of Science in Penang. So we were doing research over that period of time on the poverty problem in Malaysia. And it wasn't a big problem, but it was a persistent problem. And so we were studying it, making recommendations to the government what they could do to wipe out the small amount of poverty in Malaysia. But the people we were interviewing, the poor families themselves, they kept asking me, you're asking all of these questions, how is it going to help us? And I didn't have any answer, okay? So in 1985, I met Muhammad Yunus, the founder of the Grameen Bank in Bangladesh. I was in Bangladesh and at a conference, and he happened to be there also, so I got to know him. And he told me the story of the Grameen Bank. So I thought, this should be able to work in other countries besides Bangladesh, because poor women everywhere need money, and they can't get it. So if we can find a way of giving it to them, they will surely give it back, because they'll be happy that we help them. So I decided to try it out in India, by myself. I decided that. And so I was looking for the poorest part of India. You can say from a business point of view, that was what I should do anyway, because here are the largest number of clients possible. So anyway, I came to Mirzapur in eastern UP because it was one of the poorest districts, still is, in eastern UP, but I had the idea of going into Bihar. But at that time, Lalu Prasad Yadav was still chief minister, and there was no law and order whatsoever, so impossible to do microfinance where there's zero law and order. So I was waiting to see what happened, and fortunately he was defeated, and we moved into Bihar about 10 years ago, I guess. And we are covering 5 states now, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Bundelkhand, and part of MP and eastern UP. So finally I have an answer. When people ask me, why are you asking all these questions? Because we ask them questions about their poverty status before we allow them in the program. Then I can say, okay, if you need it, we'll be able to give you a loan to increase your income. So that's great satisfaction. Whereas as an academic, there was satisfaction in finding the answer to the problem, but we couldn't solve the problem. So now I'm in a position to solve the problem. We have almost 1 million clients, so that has proved to be a success. And now we're trying to find ways to bring them out of poverty, have more impact on them. That's the reason for the NGS.
But what drives you? You could have chosen some other way, profit-making or working.
Well, profit-making wouldn't help the poor. I wanted to find an answer to that man's question. What can it do for me? So I found the answer in Grameen Bank, and I brought it here, and it was very difficult at the beginning. India is not an easy place to do good, if you get what I mean. Nobody believes here that you're doing good, or hardly anybody. They think you must have some angle to help yourself. So we have had quite a bit of difficulty with the local administration. We've had quite a bit of difficulty early on with the banks, but now that's better because they can do good business with us. It hasn't been easy, because the people themselves, the poor, were frightened. They thought, they were told by their landlords, don't participate in that program. See that white man there? He's going to take you back to Canada and you're going to be a slave. And all kinds of nonsense was told to the villagers. And we had to overcome that slowly. By the money lenders, yeah. So we had to overcome that slowly by showing that we were indeed trying to help them. So that was very satisfying also. Job satisfaction is very hard to get in the modern world, and as an academic I wasn't fully satisfied. I wanted to do something about the problem. Now that I can do something about the problem, and every day I see the results, there's tremendous job satisfaction. So that's what drives me.